Alright, battlers, welcome back to Team Rocket Episode 9, the Spooky Special. As you know, in this series, I use Pokemon at 1500 CP or less to take on these Team Rocket Grunts, and in Game 1, we open with the pumpkin-colored Pig Knight, going up against this Shadow Duskull. So the Duskull does fire off the Nightshade here. I'm trying to build up as much energy as I possibly can before going here for the Rock Slide. So we do bring down the Duskull. In comes Shadow Dusclops, and guys, that looks so cool. Shadow Dusclops is awesome. As you can tell there, that doesn't do much damage at all to it, so we do fall. We do decide to bring in our Muck here. Muck is going to go for these Thunder Punches, and while they won't be super effective, I'm hoping that I can fire off enough to get the job done. This Dusclops is very weak, and we are going to burn our second shield here to keep Muck around. Going to farm up a little more energy here, and right down to the wire, we push Muck to the limits. In comes Dusknoir. Dusknoir is pretty sweet as well. We are going to fire off as many Thunder Punches as we possibly can. Here comes the second Thunder Punch from Muck, and we are taking full advantage of how the Rocket Grunts get stunned after a charge attack. As you can tell, he's not attacking at all. We fire off a few more Poison Jabs, and we've done great work. One Hex is going to erase the Muck, though, and in comes the Mawile. Mawile is going to be resistant to the Hex and wraps that up nicely with the bites. As our reward for that game, we do get a Shadow Duskull, which is awesome. Going into Game 2, I open with Liepard against the Shadow Shuppet. So these charms are going to be super effective against Ghost-type Shuppet, but he is putting the hurting on us as well. I'm trying to get here to the Play Rough, but in comes Banette. I'm actually going to go here into my Wiggles. I know Wiggles isn't very spooky, but the spooky is on the other side of this game, I guess. So we are going to shield this attack here from the Banette. It is Thunder, which would have probably KO'd. We're able to bring him down, and then in comes another Banette. We're going to go for the Play Rough here. Fairy is super effective against Ghost, so we do get the Great and work down that Banette very low. We are able to charm it down for the win. Oof, taken down. For Game 2, we are going to be rewarded with the Shadow Shuppet. For Game 3, we have our first sweep of the video. This is Alola Marowak putting in the work. Alola Marowak is going to face off against this Ralts here. These Hexes are going to chip it down. I'm just going to farm up as much energy as I can because the Ralts is using Charge Beam against us. You can tell by the little electric bolts that are hitting us, and that's not doing much damage at all. We're able to farm down the entire Ralts. In comes the Drowsy. And we go straight for the Shadow Ball damage. Here we go, super effective. We are going to farm up some energy. This Drowsy is using Confusion. You can tell by that circular animation there, and we do have to go for the Bone Club to get it out of the way. We do take it down, and then in comes Kirlia, and we have a Shadow Ball at the ready. Shadow Ball is going to devastate this Kirlia, and Alola Marowak will sweep that game for us. As a reward for this battle, we do get the Shadow Ralts, which is really, really cool. Going into this next game, I open with the Cacnea. It is the evolved form of Cacturn. This is Cactus on Cactus Violence. He is using Feint Attack against us and is doing a surprising amount of damage. I will shield that Brick Break, but these Poison Jabs are starting to add up. We barely edge out our pre-evolution. In comes Gloom, and guys, Shadow Gloom looks really cool. I love how the eyes are just little red slits. I do go for the Vice Grip here with my Pinsir, but things are not looking good. This Gloom's Razor Leafs are tearing through our team. I actually swap into my Vespiquen, or I'll try to, but the Pinsir goes down. We're able to resist those Razor Leafs just enough to bring it down. In comes that Cacnea, and I go straight for this Bug Buzz. Our Spooky Bee Vespiquen is going to win us this game with the Bug Bites. This is actually our first Shadow Cacnea. Shadow Cacnea was one of the few Pokemon added to the Team Rocket pool. That's pretty sweet. For this next match, I do open with Jinx against the Cacnea. We're going to use these Frost Breaths, but Cacnea is putting in the work against us. I do swap into Scizor. Scizor is Bug and Steel, so it should resist pretty much anything Cacnea can throw. I do decide to shield the Seed Bomb, and in comes Ivysaur. This is great for us. I'm going to go here for the X-Scissor against it. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but these Fury Cutters are insanely fast, and we're going to charge up a ton of energy. Here comes a second X-Scissor, and we are already at a third. Again, taking advantage of how the Team Rocket Grunts get stunned, we actually bring down that Ivysaur. In comes the Spooky Tree Shiftry. I bring in my Venomoth, and Bug Buzz is going to be double super effective because Shiftry is dark and grass, and we win that game. For that match, we will be rewarded with a Shadow Cacnea. Going to this next round, I try to go all confusion users against these poison types. Grimer is going to erase our Mr. Mime. So sorry, Mr. Mime. In comes Bronzong. Bronzong is going to use these confusions against the Grimer. I'm going to shield this attack here, which was Sludge, and 1, 2, 3 more confusions almost do the trick for us, but Grimer unleashes a second charge move, so we definitely have to shield that. Bronzong is going to face off against Muck, and the odds are stacked against him. He's going to fire off the Psyshock here, which is super effective, and I've got enough energy for another one, but this is coming very close. As soon as this Muck starts to fire off its moves, it's going to hurt. We actually get to a third Psyshock, which is great news for us. We bring down the Muck. In comes a Venomoth. Guys, I'm going to make you a bet. If Bronzong can pull this off, I need you to hit that subscribe button and ding the Bronzong bell. We're going to go for the Psyshock here. This match is super close. Look at these confusions going. And we bring it down. Guys, please subscribe. Bronzong commands it. That was a super close match, and we were able to best the Muck and the Venomoth with the Bronzong confusions. As a reward, we do get a Shadow Grimer. Night has fallen, and it's spookier than ever, trainers. We are going to open with Cofagrigus against that Duskull. Cofagrigus is a really cool ghost Pokemon that just got introduced to the game. I'm going to go here for the Dark Pulse against this Duskull, and watch this, guys. A Sableye comes in, and some weird, spooky switch mechanics go on. I go into Spiritomb, and then I'm immediately allowed to swap into my own Sableye. I don't know what happened there. That was the first time I've ever seen that. It was so weird. I do fire off the Foul Play, and these Shadow Claws are going to add up for us, bringing down that Shadow Sableye. In comes Dusk Noir, and I go here for the Dark Pulse again, or excuse me, for the Foul Play. It is super effective, and we're trying to get to another Foul Play. Sableye can be so scrappy. It is really tough to deal with, especially against other players, and Sableye wins us that game. We are rewarded with a Shadow Duskull, and we jump right into game 2. It's Haunter versus Drowsy. If this Drowsy has confusion, I'm in trouble, and it does. So I bail out right into that Drifblim. We are going to use these Hexes here and go for our charge attack. We do decide to fire off the Shadow Ball, just trying to get that Drowsy out of the way. In comes Little Ralts, and we are going to fire off the Ominous Wind against the Watermelon Hat, and we take it down. The last Pokemon is going to be Kadabra. Kadabra is running confusion as well, so this is not very good for us. I am going to wait down that switch timer, come in with the Spiritomb, and Spiritomb's Ominous Wind is going to be enough to win us this game. And we get the boost at the end, icing on the cake. We are rewarded for that match with the Shadow Drowsy. Battlers, it's Toxicroak time. We are going all Team Toxicroak, 3 in a row. We are going back-to-back against this Larvitar. We are firing off the counters, which are super effective against Rock-type Larvitar, but he is bringing us dangerously low. In comes another Larvitar, and we have a Mud Bomb ready, so we go straight for the Mud Bomb. This will almost bring down the Larvitar. In comes the Tyranitar, and we're going to fire off the Mud Bomb against it. It is super effective, but that Tyranitar is still standing. We go for another Mud Bomb here, just trying to put as much damage on it as we can. He's going to finally bring down our Toxicroak, but we have 2 in the back, and these counters will be enough to beat down that Tyranitar. Our reward is Shadow Larvitar, which is always really cool. Guys, in this match, I'm going to lead with Zweilous. We're going to lead Zweilous into that little Ralt. It is using that Charge Beam against us, and we are farming as much as we can with the Dragon Breaths. Ralt is going to fire off the Psyshock against us, and we do decide to shield, and then we will continue our farming. Zweilous is awesome. I really enjoy using it. I do fire off the Dark Pulse here against the Hypno, and it will be super effective. Hypno is so bulky though, hashtag Hypno thick. We are going to fire off the Dark Pulse here and then use a few more Dragon Breaths trying to whittle him down, and we do. In comes Kadabra, and this is bad news for Kadabra. We have a Dark Pulse loaded and ready to go. Zweilous fires that off, and we sweep with Zweilous. Our reward is Shadow Ralts, which is awesome, and going into this match, I opened with Banette against the Squirtle. So this is not a spooky rocket, but we were going to do our best with our own spooky Pokemon. I do look for the switch, but I end up getting caught by the Aqua Tail, so I do shield. Coming in here with Shiftry, the spooky tree, we're going to Razor Leaf down that Squirtle. Out comes Wartortle, and I think Shiftry might have something going here. We're going to continue to use those Razor Leafs and barely best that Wartortle. In comes Blastoise, and we are going here for the Aerial Ace. Just trying to do the Hurricane, trying to do as much damage to Blastoise as we can. In comes that Banette, and we have a Thunder loaded and ready to go. Thunder is going to be super effective, and we bring down the Water Boys. We're rewarded with a Shadow Squirtle, my favorite starter, and going into this game, guys, Frostlass is going to sweep. Frostlass, the Ice Queen, is going to be my lead. I do have Drifblim and Girafarig behind it, but I don't even need them. Here we go against C-Dot, and these Powder Snows are super effective against it. We are bringing it down really quick. We do decide to shield this charge move here, but I'm confident that we can fast move it down. A few more Powder Snows, and we do just that. Out comes the Bulbasaur, and we're going to fire off the Avalanche. We're going to bury this Bulbasaur in the snow. Super effective damage. We have enough energy for another. In comes that Cacnea, and this is not looking good for the Grass-type Pokemon. Avalanche and a few more Powder Snows will win us that game. We are rewarded with the Shadow Bulbasaur, and guys, this is the last battle of our spooky special. In comes that Alola Marowak, and we're jumping right into the fight against the Drowsy. This Drowsy does have confusion, so it is hurting us pretty badly. I fire off the Shadow Ball, and that Drowsy is still around, so I'm going to try to work him down as much as I can. In comes the charge move, but my Alola Marowak is so weak, I actually want him to spend his energy that way. And we catch the Claw. Hashtag catch the Claw, bring in that Haunter, and take down the Drowsy. Guys, if you don't know, that is a PvP strategy where you bring in your Haunter and you Shadow Claw before the confusion can hit you because it will destroy you. We do the same thing there where we swap out of it and then we come in with the Spiritomb. We're going to fire off the Ominous Wind against Kadabra and we get the boost, which is great, and a few more attacks win us that match. Our reward for our final battle against the spooky Team Rockets is a Drowsy. Guys, if you enjoyed this footage, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bronzong commands it.